Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, July 2025. Virgo, the most noticeable influence for you this month is that Mars, the planet of action, the planet of that also can trigger us and anger, is in your sign the whole month together with the South Node. Mars transits your sign once every 2.5 years, and on the positive spectrum, it means it activates you for action. It activates you to become initiative, to get things done, especially difficult things that you've put, that you were like postponing because they need you to mobilize your energy or to tackle new challenges that you were afraid to start before because you maybe didn't think you had the courage, you didn't think you had the strength or the energy. And now Mars gives you that push, that energy, that strength. And sometimes Mars can do it in not so pleasant ways by you getting angry and saying, okay, enough. I'm going to tackle this problem. I'm going to get this done. Or I'm finally going to push myself into a new direction to do something, to be initiative. But sometimes, Mars can, usually its goal is to get us moving. And if you have nothing that you have like a purpose or a goal, people that have a goal or a purpose, say a business or some ambition, they would put their energy, their Mars, into that direction. They would harness the Mars energy in very productive ways, possibly. But sometimes, even when we have a goal, we might just feel this frustration of Mars. When you have a goal, at least you know where to put it. But if you don't have a goal or something where you know where to direct this extra energy of Mars, it's recommended that you're a bit more active. I mean, you don't have to go run marathons, but go for walks and maybe punch a few bags and to let this energy come out of you. And otherwise, you can use it in not so productive way. Mars can be also destructive. You can get into a fight with someone, into a power struggle. You can become reactive towards others. And so I ask you to be a bit more patient this month. Yeah, but just remember, Mars is not just bad things. You can get a lot of things done. You can have more drive. You can build better muscle. You can start a workout routine or up your workout routine. Mars gives you willpower. But willpower, which is not channeled, becomes frustration, anger, and sometimes, especially if the anger and frustration is suppressed, it can come out like inflammation to the body, like some acute pains. It can come out like trigger of some acute chronic conditions as well, or some accident as well, or I don't know, sore throat. So there is the possibility of that as well. I wish you that you can all direct it in another way. Or sometimes someone frustrates us, some situation upsets us, and the body starts healing from this anger and this frustration by some inflammatory condition. It's a healing response. So yeah, if you can be, but be careful also when you're doing physical exertion because Mars is with the South Node, and that's more accident prone generally. But otherwise, that's one good channel to direct it to get things done, to have busy days, do a lot of even physical things or mental work because it's in Gemini. Gemini is more, sorry, Virgo. Virgo is more of mental energy, but it has to be productive as well. Get a lot of work done, basically. And Mars is with the South Node. It's kind of, you might also end some karmic cycle because the South Node, Mars and South Node meet once every 2 years, and they're not going to meet in Virgo again, possibly your whole life. Maybe in 20 years from now, it's a possibility. But otherwise, it's some kind of an ending and especially coming out of suppressed anger to be released because the South Node is the tail of the dragon where you excrete things. So you might feel like you're going like a volcano that will explode, and that's because suppressed anger from maybe a long time ago is coming to the surface to be released. Go punch bags, go run through movement, or go pour it into something. Don't suppress it. But also it can mean that some stressful situation in your life can end, or some situation more of a Mars nature that can end as well. The South Node is to be completed, to end, like some problem that you culminate and complete after July that won't bother you after that. Another big event is that Venus, the whole month is on top of your horoscope at the very peak of the chart. So despite of Mars here making you more hot-headed, Venus allows you to present a very charming face to the world. This is your public image, the 10th house. And look, Venus is the planet that's sitting highest on the horoscope, so it's more powerful than Mars. It's not directly in your sign, but it's in a very powerful position of your horoscope. So actually, reason, calmness, and goodwill can prevail, or just being, what's that word for? Like taking the peaceful way, the peaceful solution, or more diplomatic situation, more diplomatic solution out of a situation. So you have a lot of help here, maybe a female figure or a benevolent authority figure, not necessarily only female, can help you. Or if you're dealing with institutions or bosses, you're more likely to be to have good help from them, good response from them. And your 10th house is also your career, that Venus says things should go smoothly there. So if you have to present anything, for example, in regards to your career, or to speak with a boss, it's a good time this month because of this Venus on top of your chart. And Mars being in your first house will make you look more ambitious, more driven, more excited as well. But of course, they can be a bit of clashes sometimes. It's not necessarily always going to be smooth this month because of Mars. Also, you have quite a few planets in the 12th house. Mercury, the planet that rules you, will be in your 12th house. And from the 17th, 18th, 19th, it becomes retrograde, but it means it will be for 2 months in your 12th house. What does it mean? Well, be careful not to, because 12th house is the area of the horoscope that deals with the invisible, with losses. So, misplacing keys, misplacing possessions, losing papers, documents, phones, or kind of damaging. So this is the more the negative side, or miscommunications with others, like broken phone. You said something, they understood something, or don't also get involved yourself in gossips. So houses to gossip behind someone's back, because it can come to the surface. When Mercury goes retrograde, it can come to the surface. But also you can find out what someone or something has been hidden from you and they've been talking about, and it can come, or some missing piece of information can come to your knowledge, can come to your consciousness when Mercury is doing his whole long, dance there in the 12th house. So yeah, you can find out something that you are not aware of, which might be good as well. Or another way it can play out is that you might be traveling to faraway places, because Mercury's travel, 12th house is faraway places that you've been to before, for example, because Mercury is retrograde. Or you might get in touch with distant people from distant places that you haven't been in touch with. You might hear from some friends that are far, that live in another continent, in another country, and you can reconnect with them. Or you just might delve, because Mercury is to study, to learn more in depth into some more mystical, more spiritual knowledge and information, more psychological. You might do like a psychological reevaluation, thinking about what things you want to leave behind. 12th house is something to leave behind, and what you want to keep inside. You can have some powerful insights in regards to that, and you can even have conscious realizations about and understanding it consciously, because Mercury is our normal thinking, to understand it. What are those things that make you stumble? What are those hidden enemies, as we call it? Very often it's our own self-sabotaging behaviors that are our hidden enemies, but sometimes even they might be actual hidden enemies that pretend to be benevolent towards you, which is, and Mercury exposes those to you. Or you can really realize that certain habits or addictive behaviors, or maybe addiction to scrolling, because Mercury is especially connected to communications as well. And they might, you might be able to realize that you want to let go of some of those things, that you want to release and let go of certain communications, or, um, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. But also, you can be very intuitive. Mercury in the 12th house for 2 months, you can get like very different insights than before, like intuitively. You're like, wow, how did this thought come into my mind? I didn't reach it logically, but you've almost feel the thoughts and you almost feel the ideas, and you almost like a channeling, that you might be channeling some information during that time. The invisible world of the 12th house, Mercury, your mind. You might even get communication of messages or information in your sleep or in your dream from departed loved ones, from your higher self, because Mercury, or you can even get in touch from someone from your past that has departed on the other side through a dream or through intuitive feeling or sign or something like that. Some communication from the other worlds, or even in your dreams. 12th house is other worlds, your dreams, and so on. So yeah, it's good to take to rest as well. That there is a new moon in your 12th house, or rest, Virgo. Don't, even though Mars will make you want to push yourself as well, you have to do both, especially for Mars, it's like do something physical, or to release like sport, and then have prolonged periods of rest or holiday. For example, 12th house is holiday, escape from the responsibilities of the world, so to speak. Switch off your phones, Mercury retrograde in the 12th house, so no one can find you. Disappear. 12 houses disappear. You're allowed to disappear this month if you want to. Oh, that's my little brother and his wife. They're having a baby. Definitely they'll be disappearing. And I can see with Mars through her sign Virgo, that will be like, uh, the pain, of having a baby, but also the 12th house, a lot of sleep and a lot of rest and a lot of being kind of taking it easy behind the scenes and so on. And of course, the Mercury retrograde is like rearranging. It kind of rearranges your plans, your normal ways of doing things. But for a little bit, you might feel a bit lost or just going down with the stream. Go down with the stream. But Venus here is, because it's on top of your chart, is kind of really taking care of things, as I said. And then the other big event, Virgos, is that Uranus is moving from your 9th house to your 10th house on the 7th of July. It's going to be there sometime till, was it October or November, till November, I think, or even December. And then it comes back again into your 10th house, so only for a few months, and comes back into your 10th house. Well, what does Uranus, and it will stay there for 7-8 years. So this video, you can use it for the next 7-8 years to realize, what does Uranus want from me in the 10th house? Uranus feels very comfortable in Gemini. So the changes will happen with more ease. And Uranus want to free you when it comes to your career. For some of you, it can mean being able to retire, being freed from worldly responsibilities. The 10th house is worldly responsibility. Being freed. For others, it might be becoming your own boss. So you are free from answering to an authority figure sometime over the next 8 years. I cannot exactly tell you. I need more specifically a horoscope, but it will happen for many Virgos. For others, it might be, so the 10th house is your career. So it might be going into a direction of more independence, like freelancer or having your own business. Even if you have no idea now how to do it now, it will come, don't worry. Uranus surprises, usually it comes like a bam, like a opportunity, inspiration, or shock. Say you lose your job and you have no option but to start freelancing or finding another career. And initially, especially if you're resisting or if you're not in the right field professionally, because Uranus does not stand in authenticity. Something, if it's a planet that doesn't tolerate too many rules. It doesn't tolerate to be told what to do. So you can become more rebellious, and especially if you have like hefty bosses or circumstances at your work that feel limiting, that makes you feel like you can't unfold your original creative voice, that you cannot be heard, that is just not the right field for you. And if you're resisting that, it can be through a disruption, like suddenly you get fired or suddenly the business is not doing well. So like there can be a instability, volatility, but ultimately Uranus wants to free you so you can find something that is way more truthful to you, that is way more, or if you're in the right field of career, maybe to somehow modernize your approach, because Uranus is a very modern, progressive, futuristic planet, maybe to bring in AI, maybe to bring in new technologies, maybe to bring in into your work and into your career and into your image, into your business, anything of the new things. And Uranus is also connected to anything to do with esoteric knowledge, with science. Anyone who is, say, an astrologer or a scientist or who works in AI or digital or social media is also Uranus, and new technologies. They can have a big rise in their career over the next 8 years. They can be dominating their fields. They can have very quick going upwards. But if you're not in such fields and you're Virgo in some way, and you don't intend to in any way to become self-employed or independent, which is another energy of Uranus, then you might experience vicissitudes, ups and downs, changing jobs more often. Or you might be asked at least to incorporate into your activities or into your work some new technologies like Uranus or more social media or something like that, But otherwise, Uranian careers will definitely thrive. But Uranus might be doing some challenging aspects from the 10th house. If it's if you have planets in Sagittarius, Uranus is opposing them, or in Virgo planets, when it squares your sun, moon, or ascendant, your social status can suddenly shift and change. Like overnight, from married to single, from single to married, from employed to unemployed, from employed to a business owner, something big in your, or planets in Pisces as well. But in my webinar, Uranus in Gemini, which is 5 hours, I mention absolutely every possible aspect Uranus can make, sextile to Saturn, trine to your own Uranus, or opposition to your own Uranus, or sextile to your Venus, or square to your Mercury, or square to your Sun, and so on. And I show you how to find in your horoscope exactly what planets you have, what degrees, and which year exactly Uranus will do the aspect, and whether it's going to be the easy, very kind of smooth ingress into this new territory, or a bit more rocky. And I give you a lot of personal stories, how it unfolds in the lives of people around me that I've observed when they had Uranus transit. So you can feel how it plays out in life, and always the silver lining, what is the good out of it, and what Uranus actually wanted to do. Because sometimes when we're in the middle of strong Uranus transits, we kind of like, we feel like it's nonstop changes, and we're like, why so having this direction keeps you grounded, like uh, to realize what the purpose of this is. It's only $20, and it has 100 pages of written PDF material from my book, the transit book, the transit Bible that I also offer. So you get a lot of material there, and you can use it for life. But yeah, Uranus in the 10th house goal for the next 8 years is this, or maybe to change field into more Uranian career-wise. But if it's your moon in Cancer, sorry, in Virgo, then it's more about your personal life that Uranus will make changes in your interpersonal relationship. I just went through Uranus squaring my moon in the 10th house, and we changed place to live quite a few times. We bought 4 or 5 new places, and we didn't know where to live, and kept going, and finally Uranus leaving my moon alone, and finally we decided where we're going to live. There's a bit more stability. Or for your sun, it's usually connected to career, to your goals, that there will be sudden opportunities for you to make your desires, because the sun is like our free will, and how we want to create, if your sun is in Virgo, how we want to create the life of our dreams. And the sun, usually through career, through the goals we have, Uranus there can really shift suddenly overnight the direction of those into one that is more aligned with you. So enjoy this month, Virgo. It's on fire for you. Mars is in your sign. And yeah, it's a bit, and also there is rest with the planets in the 12th house as well. So it's not all go, go, go. But thank you so much.